Hello guys, my name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel and you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight the informational war. Because every decision that strengthens Ukraine and global democracy, or every decision that weakens terrorism and Russia, is important. And today I want to speak about one of such decisions. Russia is a dictatorship, and now it's official. Of course, all of us understood that Russia is a dictatorship because if you have a president as your president for 20 plus years, you don't need any definitions to understand something went really wrong in your society. In Russia, it was like that since 2000s because actually 2000 is the year when Putin came to rule the former empire, which he wants to reconstruct. And today, the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe proclaimed officially Russia is a dictatorship and Putin is an illegitimate dictator. Subscribe if you agree with Parliamentary Assembly. Of course, this is a fact, but in legal environment, in the democratic world, we do need documents and resolutions, laws and decrees that proclaim things, that prove things, and only then to move in the legitimate process we can use that. That's why I consider this decision, be it just a symbolic gesture, extremely important, because a year and more of this war, people were avoiding naming Putin dictator and Russia a terrorist state on the official level. Of course, there are lots of such phrases in our comments, and I love reading Russia is a terrorist state below. Why? Because by naming things the way they are, at least we are fighting for the truth. We are returning the world back to reality from the distorted image that Russia tries to spread with its propaganda and with its dirty money. So I think there are lots and lots of Russian soldiers who were born when Putin was a president, went to school when Putin was a president, I don't know, graduated from the college when Putin was a president, got married, got mobilized and died in Ukraine while Putin is still a president of Russia. For me, honestly, even without looking into Russian politics, when I read about other countries and I see that they have a president or they have a head of the parliament or who is a leader of the country for more than 2 terms, I understand this country is in a great danger of dictatorship or any other type of authoritarian regime. Because it is not okay to occupy one and the same position, especially if it's an elected position, for such a long period of time. I speak about that even on the local level. When you think about, I don't know, the head of school, the principal, how do you call them? And he remains at power for 20, 30 years, even if he is very good, he does not have narcissistic or authoritarian habits. Still, it's not healthy for the environment of that school because this person has its own typical scheme of thinking and it's too long, 20 or 30 years, to follow just the ideas of that person. It is totally okay to give a good leader something different. So in democratic countries, if a person feels he or she is ambitious, he or she was a good president, there are lots of other career paths that you can choose. You can become a leader of some international organizations, I don't know, join various missions, launch a foundation. There are lots and lots of options. But in countries where people tend to like authoritarian regimes, these leaders stay. And what happened in Russia? They have Putin as their leader since 2000s. He changed the constitution to allow him participate in the next elections and up to 2036. He believes he will live until 2036, and then in 2036, if the world is a wrong place and he still survives, he will change the constitution again. Once again, if you agree that Putin is a dictator and he must be defeated, please subscribe and help us share this message. It is important because still I'm surprised there are so many people who want to treat Russia as a legitimate country. And now the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe advises not to. And not to recognize him the president on the global level, the president of Russia, after the next elections in March, where he definitely wants to participate. For me, as a Ukrainian, having witnessed so many crimes committed by Putin and millions of people who support him, because no, this is not just the Putin's war, this is a war of Russian population led by the Putin, and Putin is also the product of that population. Subscribe if you agree. And it is obvious that this environment in which he operates is very connected to this idea of authoritarianism, and they like it. And you will not see strikes, you will not see protests these elections. And this image that he wants to create of the great Russian Tsar or another tyrant very similar to Stalin is actually that many people like. But still, people from democratic countries, political leaders, opinion leaders, were trying to save the face, be it of Putin or be it of Russia, and pretend that it is still a political leader, it is still an ordinary country, and we have to operate, we have to communicate with them as with ordinary others. But that's not like that. Even professionally, asking some people, why don't we interfere, for example, in the informational field of Russia? People are zombied, we have to liberate them, we have to explain them things. Many people from the EU media representatives with whom I spoke, they go, we cannot interfere. We have to interfere. It's just like interfering into Nazi Germany to stop Nazis from killing others and to liberate Germans from this poisonous psychology. And now we have a healthy and strong country. So something similar perhaps should be applied to Russia. So let's finally, if you were afraid, you did not have enough guts, if it's possible to say, to name Russia what it is, a dictatorship, a terrorist state, and Putin is the last dictator, I hope the last dictator of Europe. Now it's official, and an official European body allows us to use this. So practice that, because of course we say orcs, we say Kremlin gobbling, some like it, others say it's dehumanizing Russians. Russians dehumanized themselves when they supported war in Ukraine. Russians dehumanized themselves after Bucha, in Mariupol, in Kupiansk. They do it daily when they kill innocent Ukrainians and threaten the world with terrorist attacks. But when we use this synonyms, when we use these funny names, when we substitute them with fictional characters, to some extent we take away the responsibility from real people who are Russians, who are supporters of Putin, who are Putin and his military, and many, unfortunately, many others. So today it is official and it is important. It will not stop the war, it will not kill Putin today, but this step is important in the legal field, in the democratic world, where we have to support our words with arguments and official permissions. Thank you so much for your support. If you're new, once again, please subscribe and help us fight the informational war. Join me on Instagram, Twitter and Threads for more updates. Check our merch. There are lots of beautiful positions that can work as conversation starters and also support the channel. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons, but most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!